On Monday, we saw some free-flowing attacking football. Manchester United versus Bournemouth offered up in the Premier League probably one of the greatest attacking displays we'll get to see all season. And although that isn't the result we wanted as a United fan, perhaps it's the result we needed. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, stick around, feel the vibes. If you like what you see, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. It's almost New Year's and we are at 79 subscribers, so I think we can do it. Help your boy out. And again, if you're new here, just stick around, see if you like the vibes, and if you do, go ahead and leave a like on that video. But let's get to it. Manchester United currently are tied for second place for the most goals in the Premier League this season, right behind Man City. Man City probably take that trophy every single season since Pep Guardiola came in. I mean, it's insane. But the fact that United are in this position, considering where we were last season, only scoring 40 goals. So we scored about 44 goals around there the whole season, 38 games. We barely scored more goals in games last season, like barely. This season we are already at 30 goals in 16 games this season. So we're doing way better than last season. The only difference is that maybe we're conceding a little more, right? We conceded 26 goals. But at least on Monday against Bournemouth, right, we offered up probably the greatest attacking display. The greatest first half, especially. Well, more so the greatest 30 minutes that we'll see in the Premier League. And overall, just the ability of our team to just link up and move forward. And the amount of chances we created was insane. That's not something we have seen in the past, especially with this team. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Ruben Amorim and whether he's the right man for this team. And I think I've always stuck by him because I think he needs time to grow, right? And I've always said this, in any job, you need time to grow. You can't expect a manager to come in, especially a team like Manchester United. You can't expect them to come in and be perfect, right? It's going to take some time. And I think one of the biggest takeaways from this game, from this team overall, is that we're seeing growth within the manager. When you look at our attackers, right, we saw Šeško come in for the first time in a long time, right? After his injury and after an illness, he came on. He played pretty well. He basically assisted Cunha's goal, right? Basically, I'd count it. We saw Mbeumo, he's always been good for us. He's definitely a step above Garnacho and a step above Rashford before he left. However, he isn't quite playing the best that he could. We've seen him the first 5 games, 6 games. We saw him at his best. He was playing incredibly well. Now that's kind of slowed down, but even then, what he offers to this team, his pressing, his runs, his overall just basic quality, it's still very valuable. And we know that now that they're gone, we will miss them. Absolutely. We will 100% miss Mbeumo. We will miss Ahmad. I mean, Ahmad was insane. He reminded me of Messi at times. You know, just the way he dribbles past players, the way he weaves in and out, turns them in and out. It's beautiful to watch. I've always advocated for Ahmad since we signed him from Atlanta. What was it, back 2018, 2019? When did we sign him? I remember during COVID, he scored that one goal in the Europa League. It was this header. It was insane. But I digress. But we're seeing this team that could barely score goals last season, is coming together, is scoring fantastic, so many goals this season. However, our defense is leaking, right? And that's a big problem. That's a big issue that will be addressed. I'm sure the coach is looking at this, the coaching staff, they're trying to figure something out. However, in the meantime, let's take happiness from the fact that we can at least score goals now. And football is looking at least a little bit more exciting, I would say. We saw Kobe Manu come on, and I thought he played well. Again, this is where the growth I'm talking about comes into play, right? We've seen that over the season when he comes on, he doesn't quite play that well. I think he loses the ball a bit more than we would like. You know, he comes in to maybe keep possession for us, and maybe he loses it, and he can't really recover it that well. I saw in this game where he maintained the ball, he controlled the midfield to a certain extent. He linked the defense to the attackers. I think he did exceptionally well. I think even the cheers that we got from the fans when he come on was absolutely insane. I mean, it's fantastic, and it is unfortunate that, you know, rather than really focusing on his performance, we now have to focus on his brother, who, if you don't know, decided to pull up to Old Trafford wearing a shirt. And it's unfortunate because during Sir Alex Ferguson's time, I think, you know, that alone is enough to really, you know, get rid of a player. I'll be completely honest, right? I really hope he doesn't get rid of Manu. I hope we're done with all this drama. Garnacho, Rashford, I mean, we're done with it. We don't need to see it. If you go to any other club, this stuff isn't happening. Why is it always happening at Manchester United, right? Why do players feel like they have a right to speak out like that, disrespect the club, disrespect the manager like the way they do, right? Now, I don't think it's that far, nor do I think it should really be blown out of proportion. I think Manu should definitely continue playing, and this should just for the most part be swept under the rug, right? Now, I do believe Manu did post a picture on his Instagram, so I think that will need to be ironed out, need to be talked through. Why exactly would you do that? That sends a particular message that I don't like. However, man, my boy, I don't want to see him go. I don't want to see any drama, and I think a player of his quality should no doubt be in this club, and I think we should leave him. We should keep him. I think they need to figure this out quickly, sweep it under the rug, and not make a big fuss about it. Because the next press conference that Ruben Amorim does, it's going to be spoken about nonstop, right? So this is something that needs to be ironed out. If you watched that Bournemouth game, right, there was a tweaking tactics where we've talked about the system so much this season, right, and last season. Why does he always go with the 3-4-3? Can he change it up? The Premier League isn't suited for a 3-4-3. The Manchester United doesn't play a 3-4-3. That's not the Manchester United way, right? Now, personally, I don't care too much for the system as long as you're winning games. The only issue here, and I think everyone shares that sentiment, to be fair, the only issue here is that he wasn't winning games, right? That's a big, massive issue. And on Monday, we saw a little tweak where we saw the team play a little bit of 4 at the back rather than 3, which was a change of pace. And during that period that we played that formation, right, we saw probably one of the best football we've seen of any team in the Premier League. Now, bear in mind, we are playing a Bournemouth side who are particularly in bad form, right? They haven't won any of their last 5 games, 6 games now, I think, or even more than that, right? So they're in pretty bad form, and not to mention that same team that's in bad form drew us 4-4. So I'm not saying this because it's all good, right? I'm not saying this because it's all good. By no means isn't good, but this is the progress I wanted to see, right? It's not going to go from absolute crap to winning the title in one season, right? But this is a progress that we wanted to see. And I do think that this progress is probably even greater than I expected to see, more so because when you go from barely scoring 40 goals to scoring 30 in the 16 games, it does really put into perspective the difference. And this team is still getting together. The chemistry is still forming. The players are still getting used to each other. Realistically, I do think players that come in should get some time to get comfortable with the team. Now, I know that doesn't exist nowadays because of just the high pressure and the demands of the Premier League. But, in the past, you're talking about a whole season to get used to the team. You're talking about a whole season to expect you to really get comfortable and to really start scoring goals, right? You have Šeško and Bomo, Cunha. They need some time, and I think even next season they'll be even better, right? And not to mention the new players that we'll get as well. So I do think overall this team is moving in the right direction. Now, it's not all good. The fact that we've conceded 26 goals is insane in 16 games. It really is insane. We've kept 1 clean sheet this whole season, which is insane. It's not even funny. It's absolutely ridiculous. So it is not looking all good. I just want to put that clear. But we are seeing some progress, right? It just sucks because, you have a team like Manchester United, right? Score 4 goals, we still can win the game. You have Arsenal, who scored literally 0 goals and ended up winning a game. I don't know how you score. I don't know how you can see 2 own goals. And that's insane. Wolves are just, they put up a fight that game, but Lord have mercy. Like, they are bad. They are bad. They are bad. So, it just sucks. It sucks. It doesn't seem like we have good fortune on our side. Even if you look throughout the course of that game, there were so many handballs that in any other match they would have given, right? We could have had like 3 penalties. In any other match they would have given, right? Not only that, they missed a red card. You put your arm around the player's neck. That's a red. That's a red. Doesn't matter how hard, doesn't matter how long, that's a red, right? We didn't see anything. Instead, they gave both players a yellow. For what, right? So there's issues. There's issues. We didn't have luck with us in that game, to be fair. I think the ref was probably their 12th man. I'm not gonna lie to you. We played an exceptional game against 12 players. But even with that arm, Dallo should. I get that you're trying to be a good sport. You don't want to fall down, but you gotta fall to the ground, man. This is what we do nowadays. This is what players do. This is what they need to do in order to win a game. You have to fall down. we have to fall. Now, it could be the case that if you didn't really think we'd lose, so there wasn't any need for it, just because we were playing so well, like our attacking was so good, but we just conceded such easy goals. I digress. There's no point talking about all the handballs that we should have gotten. There's no point talking about the red card that we should have given them. It's just that it is frustrating how we concede goals so easily. I mean, we let them run straight to our goal engine. Lemens, I can speak about Lemens. I think he honestly saved us a point. Let's not even forget that he saved us. He saved us a point. We could have lost that game at the end. He made some incredible saves in the last few minutes. Two incredible saves, and throughout the match, he made some good saves. At the same time, I don't think it's wrong for me to say he could have done better with a lot of those goals as well, right? So I think he's a goalie who's competent, who gives us some level of comfortability compared to what we have in the past where they're all shaky and they can easily make one simple mistake. He doesn't quite make mistakes. I think he made probably like one mistake this whole season where he passed the ball but gave it away, and like that was happening every game with Onana and Bayern there. It wasn't even funny. So I won't talk about him too much, but I do think overall, we're starting to see the DNA of this team. We're starting to see the way that we want to play as Manchester United come into light. Amorim is starting to realize how we want to play rather than sitting back and trying to earn those 3 points or earn a point. Let's go for it. Let's win. And even though that leaves us with so much space in the back, right, that will get figured out. That will be shored up. And then eventually, I think this team will become something scary, like genuinely something scary. I think we have somewhat of the players, we do have a lot of incompetent players, but the point isn't to raise the floor, right? We need to raise the ceiling. And so a lot of these players that are starting now, come next season, they shouldn't be starting because we need to get even better players to come in and do even a better job for us, right? But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I mean, we saw a glimpse of greatness with this team. We know that this Manchester United team is still off the pace, off where we want it to be, but it's coming into fray. It's coming into becoming into what we want it to be, right? And so I think just give it time, right? This manager hopefully can take us to where we want to be as Manchester United. That's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, drop a like. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And once again, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Our goal is to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's get it. Peace.